Hi everyone, this is part 2 of answering your questions and also kind of filling a little bit more about me. If you're interested, in this section, I'm going to talk about what my life in Taiwan is like, my work, my speaking seat practice, basically, and the books, a little bit about my books that I have written and published, and also how I won the contest. Lots of people are really curious about how I got into the contest, how I won the contest, and I'm going to conclude this with just a couple of tips and suggestions for anyone who's interested in living this type of life, living in another culture, learning another language, making another place outside of your country your home. Okay, so let's get started. So, my Taiwan life, what is it like? I would say that the most difficult thing about living in Taiwan is learning Mandarin. That is the hardest thing. Everything else is easy. Pollution can be challenging. The pollution here can be very, very challenging. But that's Asia. At this point, Asia is booming. There's lots of industry, and in order to keep up, sometimes they're using a lot of coal and it's polluting the air. It's not easy, particularly in the winter months, but I've learned how to deal with it. I've learned how to deal with my allergies. I eat really, really well. I have air cleaners in my house. I limit my outdoor activities. For many people, that would be, forget it. I'm not interested. Like pollution, forget it. I can understand that. Every person's different. For me, the trade-off is it's a really, really safe place to live. Really safe. I hear about all the things that are happening with my family who lives in America, and I don't have these problems. I just don't. I really enjoy my life here. I enjoy being a woman, being able to walk down the street at night and not have to worry about my safety. But I'm not going to say that everything's perfect. Nothing's perfect. But I enjoy it. And at this point, it's home. It's home. It's home now. What do I do here? I spend time with my friends. I'm in Toastmasters, which is how I got into the contest in the first place. I'm not as active as I used to be, but it's still a huge part of my life and a huge part of my social life. I have many friends there. It's a big part of my social network. I enjoy also meeting up with them outside of meetings. Some of my closest friends, we do dinners. I like movies. I like reading. I manage a book club, which I really love and enjoy. And I work on my Mandarin. So believe it or not, if you've got a day job, which I do, I have a day job, and then I have my own private business practice, and I'm working on my Mandarin. I'm also in Toastmasters. There isn't much time for anything else. The day goes by, the weeks go by, and before you know it, you're just like, where does the time go? We were very lucky in regards to COVID. We haven't had much of a COVID issue here. We're very, very fortunate about that currently, that we haven't, the past year or so, we haven't had much of an issue. But at the same time, I do understand that also comes with a lot of responsibility as well. So that is my life here in Taiwan. It's pretty good. No complaints. Now, my work, what is it that I do? I have a private business practice that focuses on helping particularly North American companies do business in Taiwan. So I help them with cross-cultural communication, particularly just for Taiwan. Other countries I'm not good at. I don't know anything about, but cross-cultural communication relating to Taiwan and cross-cultural leadership, as well as cultural immersion. So what is cultural immersion? I help individuals, and it doesn't have to be Taiwan, it could be anywhere in the world, to learn the skills to be able to move to another culture and be able to achieve your personal or professional goals. Now, sometimes this doesn't even mean that you have to leave your own country. For example, if you live in the United States and you're moving to a place like a Native American reservation, or you're going to Hawaii, or you're going to a place in Texas that's has a mainly Latinx community, you need to learn Spanish, or you're moving to Miami, it could still be another place with a completely different culture where you have to learn the culture and the language in order to succeed, be able to succeed for whatever objectives that you have. I'm the person that can help you with that. I've done it quite a few times. I've came up with a program. I know exactly what things people need to learn and be able to go through in regards to culture shock, reverse culture shock, acclimation, so forth and so on. So I help with cross-cultural communication with Taiwan. I help with cultural immersion. And I'm also, as you guys can see, a professional speaker. I do keynotes focusing on those above topics for companies or organizations that are interested in a dynamic and entertaining speaker like me. So my books, I am also a published author. My first book, which is called The Speaking Seed, was a book that I self-published, and it talks about me, because at the time lots of people were curious about me and my life. So it's half biographical. Here it goes. The Speaking Seed. It is half biographical and half how-to. So it helps people who want to learn basic presentation skills, or who want to learn how to make speeches in foreign languages. This is the first book ever dedicated to foreign language public speaking. And I'm going to tell you, most of it is up here. It's the confidence. It's the confidence. So much of it is confidence. A lot of it is skills, learning the language, but so much of it is the confidence. So I have this copy is in English. This copy is in English. And this copy, I also have it translated in traditional Mandarin. I don't have simplified at this time, but I have it in traditional Mandarin. So here you go. Anyone who wants to practice their Mandarin or can read traditional characters. So I have these two books that I published. Now I am going to provide these as a free PDF on my website a new website that I am creating. But if you want a hard copy, of course, you have to pay for that. You can look at my speakingseed.com website if you're interested in a hard copy. And these books, the English one will be available on Amazon the end of the summer. My newest book that I am so proud of is Called to Lead. This is a book for leadership for women. And if you're not a woman, or if you're in transition, whatever, this can still apply to you. This can help you with so many different things, leadership issues in life. These are for success strategies for women. I wrote a chapter focusing on cross-cultural leadership, what I specialized in. And I am chapter 10. Here I am. So this book you can get on Amazon. I will put it below in the YouTube notes. And I wrote this with 17 other authors. They're all amazing women who wrote a chapter focusing on what they specialized in. And they wanted someone international. I was their international pick, so I was invited to write a chapter that focused on international leadership. Okay, so the next to the last part of this video will be, how did I win the contest? People, you look at the video, you think I got lucky, I won, the video went viral, and that was all there is to it. That's not true. What happened was, I had a really long Toastmasters history. I competed in Toastmasters contests in English for many years. I finally won the English contest in 2015. And then I focused a lot of my time also on coaching other people to win contests. I helped a few people with their contests and helped them to win. And I finally made a decision for New Year's of January 2017. I remember I was out with a girlfriend, and I said to her, I said, what are your New Year's resolutions? And she said, I don't know. What are your New Year's resolutions? And I ask this every time I go out, you know, I hang out with friends. The next morning we're like hungover or whatever. And we're just like, okay, what is this year going to be like? And I remember asking her, and she's like, I don't know. What are yours? And I said, I'm very clear. I know what I want. I said, I want to coach a Taiwanese woman for the speech, the District 67 speech contest. That's our district here for the island, Taiwan. And I want to compete in the Mandarin humorous speech contest. I said, those are my two big goals, resolutions this year. And she's just like, oh, cool. And that year I helped now one of my closest friends, Emily, win her contest, which was called L. She helped her, which stands for liver and love, because she donated her liver to save her husband's life. She and I worked tirelessly for 3 weeks to help her win that contest, and she did. She won, and it was one of the proudest moments of my life when she won that contest. Helping her to win, though, she moved on to the semifinals in Vancouver. And once she was there, once we came back from all that, 2 weeks later, I had my own contest, the Mandarin Humorous Contest. And I didn't have enough time to prepare. I was too busy. So what happened was, when I was in 2 Mandarin clubs at the time, the first contest for the first club, I did horribly. There were only 4 people who participated in the contest. 1 person went overtime. So that meant there was 3 people, and there's first, second, and third place. They didn't call my name for third place. I couldn't believe it. I got second place. Now, believe me when I tell you, I spoke horribly, but I got second place. Miracle. Then that club, the meeting later that week, I competed again because it was a different club, but it was still in Mandarin, it was the same contest. I was a lot more confident. There was about 6 or 7 other competitors. I got second place again on my own. Mind you, no one is a foreigner in the audience, in the club, competing. It's always just me, the only foreign girl. I got second place again, totally on my own, and a lot more competitors. So then I went on to the area contest. Now, mind you, no one thought that this was a good idea that I should compete. They said, your Chinese isn't good enough. It sucks. You're really not funny. Diana, what are you doing? I got this from a lot of people, quite a few people, even very good friends. But this is what happened during the club level. From a club level, you go on next to the area. So I went on to the area level. That weekend, I had a Red Cross training. It was absolutely grueling, all in Mandarin. My head hurt. I had to drive an hour to the contest. I got there. There was no air conditioning. There were firecrackers going pop, 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 pop during my presentation. I was so frazzled, I forgot a whole paragraph of my speech. I was completely humiliated. I left without hearing who got first, second, or third place. I left. I just left. I get a call when I got back to where I was staying, and they said, Diana, where are you? You're first place. And I'm like, there's no way I was first place. They're like, you're first place. And I'm like, and I remember saying to myself, like, wanting to cry after that contest, because I just felt in my heart I was meant to go on, like that speech, and I was meant to do more with it. And I didn't cry, but I wanted to cry inside. I was just so heartbroken with like my performance. And when they told me, my friend in the club said, you got first place, I said, oh, I am meant to do more with this speech. I am meant to go further along with this speech. And it really did a lot for my confidence. So then I went on to the division level, and I won that pretty easily. My confidence grew. but there's a big difference from the division level contest to the district level contest, which is island wide. And it's a huge jump, and I was so scared. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the day of the contest, I wanted to just leave. I wanted to leave. I wanted to just totally escape. And I said to myself, I'll never be able to face anyone in Toastmasters ever again, because I just like snuck out and was supposed to be there and compete, and I don't have the guts to do it. And the noises in my ear were so loud telling me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You're crazy. What are you doing? You're the only foreigner. Your Chinese isn't good enough. Everybody else here is Taiwanese. They've been speaking Chinese since they were, coming out of the womb. What are you doing? You're crazy. And I remember when the judge was sharing the rules for the contest, I couldn't even understand what the judge was saying. It was that bad. But he said my name. I summoned up the courage to get on stage. I did. And I said, if I can get through the first sentence, I'll be okay. If I can get through the introduction, I'll be okay. If I can get my first laugh, I'll be okay. And I remember looking out over the whole audience, and it wasn't a very large room, but there had to have been 300 people crammed in, standing, sitting on the steps, because everyone was curious about Diana. She's the only foreigner, she's so good in English. Can she do it in Chinese too? It was absolutely nerve-wracking. And then once people started laughing again and again and again, and I finally was finished, a lot of people comment, oh my goodness, she had this swagger, like, oh, I'm all that when I was done. No, it wasn't like that. I was a nervous wreck, and when I walked off, I was thrilled that I didn't have a heart attack, and I wanted to bang the doors open and just be out of there, just run out. And I remember thinking to myself, I wonder if I was any good. Even though the people were laughing, even though the people were smiling, I still didn't have the confidence where I thought I did a good job. And someone I know in Toastmasters came up to me after I spoke and said, Diana, I don't know how people are going to be, the contestants are going to be after you, but I'm going to tell you, you nailed it. And I said, I did? And he said, yeah. I said, oh, my goal was just to not look like an idiot on stage. Didn't care about winning. I just didn't want to look stupid. That was my goal. So then when I walked back into the room, and one of the contestants nudged me and said, I think you're going to win. And I said, I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just happy it's over and I didn't look like an idiot and just go on stage. She's like, no, I think you're going to win. And when the person announced, the chief judge announced it, he didn't even say my name. He just said, you're not strange at all. And everybody started screaming and clapping. And I just cried and cried and cried. I couldn't even talk. I think about it and I still can't talk. And at the time, and I said this in a previous interview, my Mandarin was a 5. At best, a 5, maybe even a 4, but I would say it was a 5. But I didn't let anybody tell me that I couldn't do it. And you shouldn't let anybody tell you that you can't do it either. You have to have that confidence in yourself. And if you don't have that confidence in yourself, who's going to have confidence in you if you don't have it in yourself? And even if I was going to fail, I knew it was something I had to try doing. And thank goodness I did do it, even with the fear that I thought I was going to fail. Because look at all of you watching it now. Look at the impact that it's had for so many people now. I'm so glad that I overcame that fear. And for any of you interested in learning another language, interested in living another culture, doing something that is not considered the norm, Don't let anybody stop you from doing that. Even people who really love you, like your family or your parents. My parents weren't on board with this in the beginning, me living this kind of a lifestyle, but they've gotten used to it. So I wanted you to know that it wasn't an easy road for that contest, and I wanted you to understand that. So I hope that me sharing this is going to be helpful for you. And my last few things, because I know this is a long segment, but my last few things are some suggestions for life. If you want to live the overseas life or living a life in another culture, it's not easy missing your family. You miss out on a lot of holidays, a lot of births, weddings, funerals. It's difficult. COVID, I'm dealing with COVID, and it's difficult to be able to travel and see my family. But if it's something that you feel like your heart is telling you to do, like it's something that you need to experience in order to understand who you are and what's inside your soul, you've got to do it. Just make sure that you make the commitment to yourself. You make the commitment to yourself that this is something that I am willing to commit to, this cultural immersion experience. I'm willing to commit to it. I'm willing to work hard to learn the language. I'm willing to work hard to make friends with the local people, to really understand them, to try not to judge so much, and build a new life, even if it is just temporary, because you can go back to your country, and that'll be a part of you that no one can take away from you, ever. A new identity, a new you. So I hope this segment was helpful. I know this segment was long. I had plans on it just being about 15 minutes. If you made it this long, thank you so much for watching. And feel free to post your comments below. I can't promise that I can respond to all of them, but I promise that I'll look at them. And in the future, some of those questions or comments, maybe I can answer in a new video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.